social media expert is set to reveal to the Human Rights Commission how social media was used to incite violence in July of last year. The Commission is probing the causes of the deadly unrest that left over 300 people dead in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Malungelo Booi is our reporter tracking that story for us in Sandton this morning. So, Malu, insofar as the social media aspect of these hearings is concerned, no doubt it will also reveal the people behind those particular accounts, for example, on Twitter.
That's right, Michelle. I think today's evidence from this social media expert is going to be very important because, as you and I know, that officials had actually said, in fact, government officials had actually said that some of this violence was actually being incited on social media. And you and I know that there has been several people that have been arrested, both here in Gauteng and in KwaZulu-Natal. And there's one particular case that I remember of Ike Khumalo. He is a lawyer here in Gauteng who was arrested on the 27th of July last year. And the NPA, or the police investigators, actually saying that he, in fact, was one of the people that had used his social media account to encourage people to take part in the violence and looting that we saw taking place here in Gauteng and in KwaZulu-Natal. In fact, in some of the social media accounts, or in some of his posts, Khumalo is accused of actually encouraging people to target government officials and lawmakers. He was angry at the state of what's happening in the country, and that was revealed in court. So it's actually going to be interesting to hear what this social media expert will tell this commission. How many of these social media posts were actually posted on Twitter and also Facebook, and actually who were the people behind these social media accounts. It's really going to be interesting, Michelle, to hear what the expert says. But I also think what is important, Michelle, is what we heard yesterday from the chief of the South African National Defence Force, who actually said that initially there were about 2,500 soldiers that were deployed on the 12th of July, shortly after the president had made that announcement on the 11th of deploying military. But, the chief of the South African National Defence Force telling this commission that because of the gravity of the situation on the ground, the number had to increase from 2,500 to about 22,000 soldiers that were on the ground. Initially, Michelle, the 2,500 soldiers that had been deployed were actually stationed at some of the country's key points to allow the police to go and deal with the violence and looting that was taking place on the ground. But ultimately, the soldiers had to be deployed into some of these provinces. But the general of the chief, rather, of the South African National Defence Force also faced questions, really, as to something that was said by the premier of this province, David Makura, who told this commission last year that there are about 500 soldiers that had been deployed in Gauteng. But the general, the South African National Defence Force chief yesterday saying that that was an understatement, but also did not want to get into a tit-for-tat with the premier of this province on his evidence. But also he was asked on something that the former defense minister, Nosiviwe Mapisa Nqakula, who is now the speaker of the National Assembly, and also something that was said by the premier of KwaZulu-Natal, that there was a lack of synergy between the police and the military, and the chief of the South African National Defence Force saying that there was really no lack of synergy between the defense and the military. Went as far as to say that in the first day of the deployment, everybody was taken by surprise by the unrest, and what they had to do as the military, they had to send as many soldiers into the ground as possible. Perhaps that's when, there may have been a lack of synergy, but he said that the military and the police worked well together to stabilize the situation in the country at that time. Michelle?
Yeah, certainly some interesting insights, important insights we've been getting as these hearings have been unfolded. This is the second leg which is unfolding in Gauteng. Malungelo Booi, thanks very much indeed for that update.